Hi everybody, Tim from LogiSense here, and today we're going to take a look at how we can slice and dice and segment up different rates inside of the system, whether that be location, time of day, different zones, how we manage things like rounding rules inside of the system. So kind of the nitty-gritty details of how we get down to some of the different rates inside of the system. So let's jump straight in here and we'll go into our setup area and we'll jump right into taking a look at rate types, and we'll take a look specifically around locations inside of the system. Now, locations allow us to be able to do things like load in lerg6 patterns, any kind of dial patterns, any different ways that we might be picking up identifiers coming out of the usage feeds that are coming into the system to be able to map them to a certain location. If we have those locations mapped inside of the system, we can also associate rates based off of each of those different locations. Now, one of the other things that we might want to be able to do is specify any kind of rounding rules that we're using. So whether we're doing any kind of data rounding rules, when we're doing time rules. So here we see that we've got a data rounding rule of doing a kilobyte that we're rounding down. We've got a minimum with one increment that's coming as part of those things. We'll have different companies sometimes look at a K being 1024 or being 1,000, depending on how they want to round those. We've also got a rounding here from a time perspective, so we can choose the different base type that we might want to use on what the type of data is that we're rating and how we want to use then that rounding rule. So we can see here that we've got a bunch of usage rates that are using this rounding rule inside of the system. Another way that you might want to segment up your usage rating inside of the system is based off of time of day. So we can also create up different time periods here that might have multiple different days and time periods in them. So we've got the days of the week and a weekend in here. So we might segment up our rates depending on when we're seeing that usage coming through the system. Now, those give us very specific things. We've got a time of day, we've got rounding rules, we've got specific locations, but in some cases there might be more of a generic zoning or certain areas that we might want to segment rates up to that aren't just specifically on a very, very specific area. So if we jump over into our locations as well, we're able to set up different location groups inside of the system. Now, location groups are then going to use those different locations that we've already set up. So we can see here in our geo tree that we've got France, Germany, United Kingdom. Those have all been loaded into zone 1. And then we've got zone 2, where we've got Greece, Italy, Portugal, and Spain. That might be our secondary zone. So we've really wanted to make sure that we have as much flexibility on any kind of way that you want to slice and dice your location-based information of coming in through from any kind of usage. So we're able to pull in those identifiers coming off of those mediated usage feeds, assign them to some kind of geotree location, and then we're able to assign any kind of rates based off of those inside of the system. We'll be doing another video in this series that talks a little bit about how we set up the classification of usage, how you specify those rates, and how you say that those are only going to be for certain locations as well inside of the system. So that's a topic that we wanted to cover today. Hope to see you in other videos in this series, and thanks a lot for joining.